What's up, everyone? Welcome to another episode of the Anton on One podcast. So today it's another Anton on One with himself, with me, Anton on One with himself, number two. So it's been a while since I came out with my last episode. I kind of took a Christmas break. But yeah, I'm back right before the year ends. I really feel like it's important to have that one session to be able to look back at everything you've done, especially with the year ending. What I think with New Year's, the whole concept of a New Year, it's artificial. Like if you think about it, humans are just the one that sort of put these timestamps. That okay, this is the end of a year. Next year, supposedly something else is gonna happen, something new is gonna happen, but it's really just another day. Like you're really just living your life. You're still moving on, with time. But I think that it's very practical because it's an opportunity for you to look back, to see what you did wrong, what you did right, to see what lessons you picked up. Because while you're going through it and you learn these lessons, and it's happened to me, I'll be going through a couple of past episodes I had. I learned these lessons and I'm like, wow, okay, this is so good. It's gonna change my life. I'm gonna live a better life. And then eventually you kind of forget it. Unless you have that opportunity to do look back and sort of assess what you've been through so that you can improve yourself moving forward. I feel like everybody naman shares this desire that I have as well to always become a better version of yourself. Always, how can you live life better? And so for this episode, I'm just gonna be sharing a bunch of realizations I had. 2020 was really the year of epiphanies. I learned the word epiphany, by the way, from the movie The Simpsons. If anybody learned it the same way, I just want to share. Epiphany is such a weird word, but then I remember Homer talking about epiphany. So it's like if you have like a realization or you learn something big. I had a lot of those, and I really want to thank the people that I got to talk to during this pandemic. I have a although the sad thing, obviously with the pandemic, is that you don't get to see all your friends. I still got to communicate and talk with a few people, a few important people in my life, and I feel like this is the first lesson I have that it's really the quality of the relationships you have, not that much the quantity. I was looking at my Facebook and it's so crazy. I have over 2,000 friends on Facebook. Like it's great to know that, oh wow, Anton, you actually know 2,000 people. Like 2,000 people can actually spot you in a crowd and be like, oh, I know that dude, Anton Fausto. But how many of these people have you actually really talked to and got to know? Like there are so many people that I know, and they are people that if I see them in public, kung magkatinginan kami, that's the only time I'm gonna say hi. There are so many of those But we have this, especially as Filipinos, we have this invisible barrier or this wall na parang we're only gonna talk to someone if we need to, if there's an excuse. Like, oh, we're in the same class kasi, we're in the same physical space. But now that we are all in our own homes, we don't really share physical spaces anymore. Um, we end up not talking to anyone at all because we would wait for those opportunities na oh it's because we're in the same place kaya we're gonna talk, and that's the thing I'm thankful for with the way we communicate now and hang out and like talk to our friends or talk to people. It's become more of a norm now that you can just strike up a conversation with anyone online because that's the only way you're gonna do it. There have been people that I just randomly talk to. I see something interesting in their Instagram story. Why not talk to them about it? And it's not gonna hurt Like it's only in your head. I think it's only in my head that this person's gonna think I'm weird or judge me because why am I talking to them out of nowhere about something so random? This year it leads me to my second lesson is that you really just do your own thing. If people are gonna judge you for what you do or think, if you're gonna go through the trouble of worrying, oh no, what are people gonna think of me because I'm doing this thing? That's like a problem you're creating for yourself. If they do judge you, let's say I have this friend, not really close, but she's very annoying. She's really into fitness. Like Like if you mention her name, people will be, the one who's fit and stuff. Because I was like, this girl knows a lot about fitness, and I've been always wanting to get better with my health and fitness journey. So I did ask her for advice, like, how do you do it? Parang, are you focusing on having a really solid workout every time? Are you the type of person who have a lot of workouts, but it's not so intense? You know what? Actually, I'm gonna say her name. Her name's Erin, and I think she's in flyweight boxing, if I'm not mistaken. So thanks, Erin. We're not close. She was my table mate's date in prom or ball, I think. One of those. Basta, we have that one connection, but we don't actually talk. And she like gave me like a lengthy answer, you know, sharing with me how she does her fitness, and she actually sent me links of um these interviews. One was Joe Rogan, my hero, an interview that he had with this fitness expert saying that you shouldn't focus on getting your muscles sore. It's more important to have a lot of workouts, frequent workouts, but not super intense, so that you can keep working out. I've been making it a point to remove all, although I still have those. I still get conscious na parang, is it okay? Is it normal if I just talk to this person, or if I talk about it or mention it? But then wala eh. If you don't do it, ikaw rin naman yung maapekto. Like, if you don't take the opportunity to learn from another person, because all the people that you encounter, they're all different universes, eh, and they have their own stories. They always have their new things to share with you, and you're not gonna like all of them, but even the opinions you don't like help you formulate your opinions and make them stronger. If you see this, you talk to this person, you see their way of life na parang di ko trip yun. It strengthens your way of life, and okay, I don't like that way because I like my way, and I'm more confident with the way I'm doing my life. Things like that. Another thing related to that is that I realized that not seeing people, the hardest thing about the pandemic, obviously all the health stuff aside, I'm really grateful that we're safe. But then diving deeper into it, I really hate the fact that you can't see friends anymore that much, or you can't. Like, you have to. There are so much things. Like, I've seen people, but then it's really not the same. And that sucks. Like, I haven't gone to a party. I miss the dancing. I miss the drinking with friends, the tawanan, meeting new people, talking to random people. You don't have to make the effort to talk to them because they're in the same area nga. But not seeing those people actually helped in you, I think. I'll just talk about myself. Actually helped me with not comparing that much anymore. I had this conversation with my friend recently. I forgot whom, but I forgot who. I forgot whom. Not sure. Sorry, ma. Uh, the difference between our generation and our parents' generation with the level of happiness, that the this is the theory that our generation isn't as happy as the older generation, because we always compare ourselves, and we know that comparison is the thief of happiness. We have all these sayings about how if you compare yourself, that sort of, well, yeah, besides wrong. If you compare yourself, hassle. But since you don't have these mini comparisons, because every time you're gonna have that small talk, I do miss small talk though. Every time you have these small talk, the small talks with that blockmate of yours that you're not close to, or the girlfriend of your friend, what are you gonna talk about? Oh, what do you do, diba? What's your job? Even if that's a very honest, innocent, normal conversation, having that on a regular basis is sort of like when you look at Instagram and you're like, oh my gosh, this person got this achievement. This person's having this vacation. He's spending this much. How did he afford this much? We nabawasan yun eh. You only talk to people that you really plan to talk to. So nabawasan yung comparison aspect of our social interactions, which I feel like is a good thing. I don't want to talk about the negative things now of 2020. I don't want to focus on, wow, it's so hassle. Oh my gosh, the government. Oh no, the pandemic. Now that we're in the end of the year, wala na eh. Like, knock on wood, 2020 can't throw any more shit at us. Hopefully, there's still a few days. But, diba? Let's try to, let's not even try. Let us, just like Yoda said, there's no try, only do. Is that what Yoda said? Anyway, let's just go at the positive things. Let's see what we can pick up and bring on to the next year. So yeah, not seeing people help, the quality of relationships was more important. I really believe that this year I connected to people more than I have in, my past years. And also, I mean, I'm sure that's added. It's added because I'm a year older. My brain has, formed more biologically. But then now, each time you see someone, whether it's I'm delivering bread or, you know, you're outside, you have to give something to someone, so you stay outside their house, both in masks, obviously, and you talk. Like all these social interactions you have, we really, really cherish them. I really look forward to them, and I really, like, sinasarap ko talaga each conversation I can have with another human being that doesn't live in this house, diba? Um, so with that, I really feel like, you know, the way we deal with each other, the way humans deal with each other, actually could have improved with this pandemic. So I'll be going through some. I chose five of my past episodes and a few lessons I learned from them. Very in line with this 2020 introspective, looking forward. How can I make myself better? How can I achieve more success? All those type of stuff. Okay, so I'm gonna start with the very first interview I had, the first episode I have had with Rain Matienzo. Rain, congrats to you. I'm so proud of you. I said this in our episode. She got way bigger now, not physically. With like all the endorsements she's had, she has a commercial. I saw a post. She has a commercial with Alex Gonzaga, I think. Like she's a TikTok. She's not more than just an influencer. Like she is already artista level, and I'm so happy for her. I'm so proud of her. And when we talked, it was just starting pa lang eh. And what I learned, just take her example of TikTok. Don't sleep on it. Like there are a lot of things I slept on TikTok. There's a lot of things that you don't know actually could be your path to success. There are so many ways. It's proven already that there are so many ways to success. There's so many ways to fame. There's so many ways to achieve what you want to achieve. If what we want to achieve is success, there are many forms. I've talked about this, for the past years in many interviews as someone who didn't take the corporate traditional path. I've always been trying to also prove to other people and also tell myself like it's okay, Anton. There are many paths to success. So I would interview people with their different success stories. But in this one with Rain, it's not even a success. It's like a succeeding story. Like she is in the process of attaining that success, and we can all really see it. Um, and I feel like with her, she was being herself. So the lesson I got from that is that you don't. What she did, she didn't. I don't think she chased. She doesn't. She doesn't chase success. She just focused on doing what she does, being herself, and that success will follow. People are going to notice you. Uh, it's hard because if we want something, we have to aim for that something. If you want to have stronger muscles, you're gonna work out your muscle to get stronger. Like that's the thing. But with success, it's weird eh. You shouldn't. I don't think you should directly chase success eh. You have to focus. Hey, once you're chasing success, mawawala. Mawawala yung parang what is it that you're good at? What is it that you uniquely can do? You're gonna look at what are successful people doing now? How did that person reach success? Let me try that. You just gotta focus on yourself. Focus on your way. Ika nga na ba, you do you. Next episode, I'm gonna talk about Jose Marichan. This guy is amazing. We all know him as the one. Although kakamiss, no, this year I didn't really go to the mall, so di ko siya masyado na pakinggan. But with the interview I had with him, I learned that there are so many things that are going to happen in life. If you do get to have a lot of years, there are a lot of things that happen in your life. And he had so many experiences from being a 20-year-old TV host that wasn't given a salary to managing, to helping his family business, the sugar business, and then even with martial law that they had to move to New York and do business there. Like that's a whole nother book. Like you can't summarize a person's story in like one book. Like he has so many things. Like his whole being a working student, that's a whole nother story. The whole sugar business, That's a lot of stories. And then the martial law one, moving to New York, having to talk to all these different countries. But then what do we know him for? We know him for his Christmas songs. But there's so much more. There's so much to a person that we often just look at the surface, like what is he known for, what do I know this person for, but there's actually so much more, and it gives me comfort because here we are, like always trying to chase success. You think that okay, once I'm 40 I'll be successful. Like there's when I look at my dad's the example I always go back to because he's right here and he's very successful. I think my dad reached success na already now, 'di ba? Or at least like mga 10 in his 40s ganun, you can say yeah, Marvin Fausto is successful. But there are so many successes that you can have. Like you don't need to buy your own house and have a whole family before you can call yourself successful. I think that you can be successful every day as long as you're doing what you have to do. Like for Jose Maria Chan to become, he has like 3 lifetimes worth of success. So that's a different. No, but his story, for example, again, if you go to his young years, I don't think he was thinking about like, I wanna be famous for making all these songs. He was just focusing on doing his thing. So yeah, that's with Jose Maria Chan. I'm gonna go to another one with Jana Mahusay. Congratulations, by the way. She is expecting her and Ed. Expecting. Congratulations. Very excited to see that baby beat all of us in dancing. By the way, no, Jana and Ed. Imagine Jana Mahusay, Ed Vicente. Those who don't know Ed, they are like two of the top dancers, in the Philippines. They're very amazing, talented dancers, performers, choreographers. Imagine if their kid doesn't want to dance, no? Wala, benta lang yun. Okay. So, with Jana Mahusay, who I believe, from the people I know, is one of the most confident people I know. Um, I learned through her story that she wasn't born with that confidence. When we see these people with the X factor, when you see these people na, wow, sobrang galing, diba? Apparently, they're not born with it. She wasn't born with that confidence that when you watch a video of her dancing, oozing, diba? She has that sex appeal, that confidence. That is something she developed, and she chose to develop it. It's not something that she was just, given to her. It's not like Eren from, I'm watching Attack on Titan now. Oh my gosh, you gotta get on that. He was given the ability, diba? Na-inject siya. Na-inject sila to become Titans. Jana didn't get injected with confidence. She developed that, and she took the steps necessary to get there. So if there's something, whether it's not confidence, if it's you want to become a better speaker, you want to become a better host or a better, musician or whatever that talent is, the best ones, they develop it. They don't just, they're not born with it. Although probably she was born, she had more natural talent. She was born with more natural talent when it came to dancing and stuff. Like the main chunk pa rin is still the decision and the effort and the time you put in developing those skills. And connected to this thing about Jana, it helped me rely less on this belief of destiny. We think that, a lot of movies and fairy tales, and it's easier if you just want to believe in destiny. Like, okay, I'm going to be born. I always thought I was destined for greatness. Like, that's the way I was raised, which is correct. Like, of course, you're going to make your kid think he's, destined for greatness. But I don't think that that's something that's just given to everyone. Eh. Like, I honestly believe it was a wrong belief na parang, yeah, because I'm Anton Fausto. I'm Antonio Manuel Fres Fausto. I'm going to achieve. I'm going to be better. I'm going to be the best, diba? That's not the case. Like, you have to work for it, and it's not given to you. It's not something that, because I'm the son of my parents, I'm gonna be great. But yeah, that's what they said. That's how the world works. It's not. That's not how the world works. Although I do admit, and I'm thankful that I was born. I keep saying this. I was born in privilege. I get to eat as much as I want. I live with a family. We're healthy. We're safe. Diba? There aren't that much basic problems when it comes to the necessities. Diba? So that gives me an advantage, but it's still, just like with Jana and her confidence and becoming an amazing performer, it's still something I'll have to develop. Like people, I always I still have that image that, yeah, when I'm 40, I'm gonna be able to be balling and rich and stuff. But wow, it's so hard. Like, I'm working now. It's so hard to, like, if you want to be really rich, you want to really be successful, it's gonna take a lot. But yeah, I'm enjoying the process so far. And I'm still 24. So there's still not that much pressure. If I'm still at this same level of success when I'm 30, magtataka na ako din. Okay, let's go to another episode. Two more episodes I'm gonna talk about. This one. Okay, this has got to be like my favorite episode so far that I've done. It's with Father Johnny Go, and I've been hyping this up to a lot of people, and I really, wow, if you haven't had the opportunity or you didn't know I had an interview with Father Johnny Go, he's a Jesuit priest. Please, if you have any concerns about faith, if you have any worries or you don't know, do you believe in God? Should you believe in God? Please watch that episode for yourself, diba? Not asking you to do it so I get more views, although that's a bonus. Please watch it for yourself. Just some, because there's a lot of wisdom in that episode. One of them, the first one, is that there are many unanswerable questions that we face. Okay, existential questions. Is there a God? What's gonna happen to me when I die? What is the meaning of life? All those stuff. They are questions that we are never going to answer. Like, that is a known fact. We probably don't know much facts about, like, Jesus, diba? Like, was Adam a real person? Was Eve a real person? But the thing we can all agree and be sure of is that we aren't gonna answer these questions while we're alive. We're not gonna know what's gonna happen after life. We're not gonna know if what was taught to us in grade school and CLE was true. You're not. But what that episode helped me realize, and it did give me more peace, is that we can control how we think about these things, the way we think about these questions that can't be answered. Because these questions, yes, they can't be answered, but that doesn't mean we're gonna stop asking them. I talked about that. If I had sometimes I wish I could just shut it off. Those questions na I sometimes would be afraid, like, just thinking about it, when my mind goes off and starts thinking about the existential stuff. Gusto ko i-preno. I wanna stop it eh. But I think you have to accept. I've accepted that I'm gonna live my life asking those questions. Even if I don't really want to, I'm gonna keep asking those questions. But the thing I learned, going back to the episode, is we can change. We can choose how we think about these questions. We're not gonna get a scientific answer, but then it helped me because he talked about how faith is not the same as knowledge. You think, when I have a question, when I have a hypothesis, you need to look for the data evidence, then you get an answer. I thought that faith was that. I thought faith was like that. I'm not. I don't know if I can say I'm a faithful person because I don't really know for a fact if Jesus is real and all those stuff. But no, it's not. Faith isn't the same as knowledge. It's the journey. It's the conscious act of believing. So it's more of like, it's more of like a ray. Okay, so my friend Miguel also had a great episode with him. Miguel Domingo. We had this talk when he was talking about time. Let me use his analogy of time with my analogy of faith. He thinks that in the existence of everything, he doesn't think it's a straight line with a start and a finish. He thinks that time, existence, is all like a ray. Like, it keeps moving forward. The future hasn't been set. It's about to happen. Everything is going to happen, about to happen. There's no end. It's just a ray that keeps on going. So I feel like it's the same with faith. There is no end goal. Like, you just keep on going. And that's the thing, because I would compare myself to this Jesuit. Obviously, Father Go has had a lot of years and experience when it comes to strengthening his faith, his spirituality. Labang siya sa akin. Pero pareho kami. We're moving. We're both walking. Although he has walked a greater distance than I have, we're both walking. We're both moving and trying to learn more about these existential questions that we have and all this stuff about life. And the last thing I'm gonna talk about with this Father Johnny Go episode was that connected to faith, it's not the same as knowledge. Why did I want this? Why did I want the knowledge? Why do I want my questions answered? Because I want to be at peace. it's not fun to have those questions and you're just like, oh my god, wala akong mahanap na sagot. Peace is not something you possess. Is what he said. Peace is not something you possess. It's something you pursue. Di ba ang ganda? Like just hearing that palang, I feel like that was a powerful statement because hearing that palang already I had that small sigh of relief na parang, oh nga no. Kasi at the end of the day, you're not gonna get to answer these questions. So, sana naman, be okay with it, diba? Be okay with having those questions. And that peace that you're really looking for and you're yearning for. Last episode I'm gonna talk about is the one with Sir Temporal, Mr. Dennis Temporal, DT, your philosopher. We talked about happiness a lot. And I am going through something that really crushed my happiness and really, changed me. Going through, it's kind of awkward talking about this. Like going through a breakup, yeah, 4.5 year relationship, like that stuff really shakes you in your core. And I'm smiles and I'm all smiles and I laugh and stuff, but like it's hard. It's really hard to go through it. So I had the interview. I really wanted to know more about happiness because if you go through a breakup, magamang you're gonna be sad, diba? But I was thinking like, okay, maybe there's a better way to think about this. Maybe, just like with faith, maybe there are things that I can tweak so that I get to do this efficiently and eventually not gonna be as sad anymore. With that episode, the first thing we talk about is that happiness, isn't the end goal. I always lived my life thinking na it's meant to be happy. What are my favorite moments? Oh, it's when I'm happy. What minutes of Anton's life are the ones that I would love to relive? The ones I would wanna remember were the happy ones, obviously. And people chase happiness, and that is a natural thing. He said that it's not the end goal, but it's also natural to search for that happiness. Because there are other things in life that happiness may be a byproduct of it, but there's actually something deeper. Like if you search for wisdom in your life, if you search for meaning, when I make this podcast, with each episode that I make, it makes me happy to talk to people. It makes me happy if someone says, "Hey, I enjoyed this episode. I learned something from it." It makes me happy if there's a brand, if there's a sponsor, diba? But I'm not doing it for the happiness that it gives me. I feel like this podcast is my way of making my mark in the universe, being able to speak my mind. It's probably like my sort of purpose. Like, how your purpose in life my mom would say this, is the intersection of the world's greatest need and your greatest passion. Like, I feel like this is, if it's not the main purpose of Anton Falso, I can say that right now, 24-year-old Anton, this is your purpose. So that's why I'm doing it. There are, and it makes me happy. But it's long lasting. Happiness kasi is fleeting. We might think na parang, oh, if you're happy for this day, tas mawala siya, you're gonna be really sad. But then if you focus more on what I'm searching for is meaning, what you're searching for is wisdom. Like those things are long lasting, and you're not gonna be as sad anymore. It's not the experience of life isn't gonna be as hassle if happiness isn't the main thing that you always want to look for and you always want to search for. This helped me. So it's a reordering of priorities. Happiness is still way up there, but I'm okay with, kasi when I would think na mali yan if you're always searching for happiness, I think na parang, wow, boring naman yan. Why? Because you want to just work and earn money, diba? Like you want that to be your purpose because it shouldn't be happiness. Like I thought that, oh, that's gonna be so sad naman. Hassle naman ng life, not that fun. Life will be even more fun, will be even less hassle, and life will be even better if you get to reorganize it properly and not make happiness the main goal. I also had an episode with Sir Bryson Bonsol, the happiness teacher. There are many ways to look at happiness. There are many ways to interpret it, to look at your life and understand, like, what am I supposed to do? Why am I feeling this way? And relating to my experiences in 2020, if you go through a breakup, normally I would have thought that I'm pretty sure what I would do is I'd go out, I'd distract myself because I thought that I live my life thinking that that's how you cope with things. You make yourself do other things. But with the pandemic, you're forced to just be by yourself and think about it and go through those unhappy moments. And oh my gosh, like when the pandemic shit hit the fan, I was like, yo, this is gonna be a hard year. And then it got harder and more challenging and more depressing. But I can say that I'm happy to be here. I'm happy to be where I am. I'm happy that I went through those experiences because I like the version of myself now. And it's not, although I've always been someone who's confident in myself, um it's not something I've gotten to say with much confidence and, belief na I like this version of Anton. I like this version of Anton, but there's still a lot I want to improve and I have to improve and I will improve this coming new year. Okay. Going back to Sir Temporals. Yun. So at the end of the day, it helped me understand what it is I'm really looking for. Helped me try to understand it, and made me, make me have that reordering and changing of priorities. There's still a lot more episodes. I want to just run through the names of each person I interviewed, and I want to give you, if you're watching, I want to give a huge thank you for being a part of this journey with me. The beginning is really, I hope it's the toughest part, because if it gets tougher, that's gonna be really tough. So thank you to Rain Matienzo, Mr. Jose Marie Chan, Jana Mahusay, Father Johnny Go, EJ Nashon, Sir Budget Tan, Miguel De Pianco, Sir Temporal, Sir Bryson Bonsol, Miguel Domingo, Sam Alvero, and the most recent one, Enzo Bonoan. Thank you guys for your time. Thank you for the lessons you gave me. And there have been people who commented and would message me. When I say that, it's not like there's 100 people, okay? But there have been people who messaged me saying thank you, that they did enjoy, they learned a bunch of stuff. So it's not just me who's learning. Thank God, there are positive effects that other people get to benefit from. Um, so yeah, there's so much that I get to gain from 2020. I don't think that next year, although the pandemic is, still exists, like the hit that humanity has taken, it's not gonna be the same next year. So we're not gonna go through the same metamorphosis phase. We knock on wood. Sana naman, wala nang masyadong intense mangyari. Like, if there's a colossal titan that's gonna appear out of nowhere, I don't know. But I do believe that 2020 equipped us better with tools and skills how to move on with life better. And especially with the use of technology. There's this new term, and my mom was talking about this. We usually say WFH, work from home. But it would be better if we could do a WFA, work from anywhere. And if kung kaya naman, 'di ba? Let's do it. If we're getting to, like, we were forced to go on Zoom, do all the things, all the meetings we had to do on Zoom. Imagine, let's say I'm gonna host an event, and we have a pre-prod meeting or a meeting before the event. That could be like my main activity for the day. Like, okay, let's say the meeting is in Makati, so I'm not gonna schedule stuff now for that day. I'm gonna take time to travel going there, have the meeting for like an hour and a half, travel back. But there's not much time anymore to have another huge thing, so I'm not gonna plan any more events. But then now, if you have a 1 hour meeting, you literally can wake up like 15 minutes before that meeting, and then you can schedule a meeting 15 minutes after that is totally unrelated. Like, although it's super hassle, the pandemic, we were forced to be more efficient with our time. What I'm hoping though is next year, moving forward, is that companies, we really continue focusing on ourselves more, focusing on our mental health, focusing on our well-being. We saw that the huge spike in people, doing meditating, mindfulness. I did do a 21-day abundance, like, meditation challenge thing. People have been doing yoga a lot. I really hope that this trend, I hope it's not a trend. I hope it becomes a thing. Like, it's normal. It's like, if you talk about, oh, how are your finances doing? How is your dental health doing? How is your physical health doing, diba? How is your mental health? Like I want it to be. I wish it's gonna be one of the main aspects that we focus on. Because bagay, you have to take care of it. Like if you don't take care of that one, although it's the pinaka ano kasi, it's the ninja one eh. Like kung hindi mo agagaan yung mental health mo, hindi siya sobrang obvious na, oh, the mental health needs help. Like compared to if you have a toothache, it's gonna hurt. So you have no choice but to attend to that because you know that the tooth is a problem. But then let's say you're going through, mental problems, mental health problems, it can go out through your work. Like let's say I'm going through problems, pero biglang how come I suck at interviewing? So I'm gonna just think it's a career thing. Oh, I suck at interviewing. What is it that I have to improve on interviewing wise? But if you look at the root, oh, maybe it's because you haven't been having enough sleep. Maybe you're going through a problem you haven't processed. That's why you aren't in the state that you should be when it comes to doing your work, when it comes to doing interviews. That's why it's. I used to think that it was selfish, like, oh, I'm gonna take time for myself, diba? It's selfish because it's for yourself, but it's also selfless because you're gonna just be a better person in general to all the people you interact with if you take care of yourself first. I mentioned that I did this 21-day abundance mindfulness challenge thing. And another lesson I wanna share with my experience of 2020 is being present, like being in the moment. Like it's always something. If when you ask, like, the happiest people are the people who have the ability to really be in the moment. Like I would mention before that I'm my happiest if where I want to be and where I need to be are the same. But what if where you want to be and where you need to be, what if that's exactly where you are? And I've always been someone who loves going out, going to parties, hanging out with people, just hanging out, vibing with other people. Like, I think I got that aspect down. When it comes to being in the moment when I'm hanging out with people, I got that down. That's why I think that those are the best times ever. But let's be real. And I know this now. If I'm gonna get to hang out with someone, that's probably gonna be like once in the whole week. You have 6 days of not hanging out. So most of my life is going to be spent not in parties, not in the fun stuff, the moments I always crave for, the moments I always look for. The Most of my life is going to be spent in between. It's going to be spent working, it's going to be spent planning, it's going to be by myself. You have to be able to prioritize those things more. I really got the hanging out, partying activity down. I think I have to focus, be better when it comes to these different activities, especially like being with myself. And know that being in those moments, you're not missing out. Like you are going to have those hangout times. And I know that when I hang out, this guy Anton Fausto knows how to hang out. If you want to have the full experience of life, you have to be good at that too. You have to know how to hang out with yourself. You have to know how to be okay with, wala akong kausap kasi wala akong kausap. It's not that no one wants to talk to me. It's just that, that's not the time you're gonna spend in your life talking to people. I hope that made sense. It made more sense. I think it made more sense in my head. But again, be more present. With whatever it is that you're doing. I still have that challenge today, especially with this bad boy right here, always looking at my phone, always looking at Instagram. But I can say confidently that there has been I think I have a healthier relationship now with social media. Like I've gotten to become more at peace with seeing what other people are doing that I'm not doing. And we keep talking about boom, epiphany right now. We keep talking about how social media is bad, diba? Kasi like you're always comparing yourself. But what if we learn how to master this? What if we learn how to behave around this phenomenon of social media? We are gonna be the generation that is so used to seeing everyone's lives. We talk about how our parents have, yeah, mama and papa probably had a, happier childhood and, growing up years because They didn't compare themselves. It's because they didn't see what all their peers were doing. The person that they were classmates with for 1 year, diba? They probably don't know what's going on with that person's life. But we do. We have the power to. It's right here. It's right here. It's on our phones. We can easily search that. So if we get to, I think it's gonna make us even stronger. Like if we get to, you know, work around it. Imagine if we can still be happy despite seeing other people's lives. I think that's a better happiness. That's a better mindfulness and being at present and being happy with what you have. But that's if you get to eradicate the FOMO, eradicate the, judging yourself and hating yourself because you are different from another person. Like, accept that you're different and everybody has their own different lives, have their own different tastes. I want to give a shout out also to Colin Sagaw, who I had a lot of solid conversations with this year. Helped me realize this. Gotta give respect to where these ideas come from. It's not just from me. People just, you do your own thing. Diba? If someone's gonna judge you because you like something that other people don't like, bahala sila, diba? Just like it. And if you see that the way you're living your life is different from the way people are living their lives, malamang, that's how it's supposed to be. You don't have the same life as anyone, and you're not supposed to have the same life as anyone. So yeah, again, there's so much to gain from 2020. It has been a shit show. It has been. I used to say like it's the worst year. But when it comes to self growth, when it comes to learning about yourself, gotta say that this is the best year. It's the one that I thought the most, and I learned the most so far. I hope to continue doing so. Um. So yeah, before I end this episode, just a few updates. Next year, 2021, gonna keep doing these. Gonna keep these interviews coming up. I do wanna announce that my next episode, coming out the new year, is with my good friend, Mr. Edward Barber, VJ Edward. That's right. He has a movie coming up. It's called Princess Daya Reese, and we're gonna talk about that. Got a bunch of interviews lined up. Got some special things in store. Very excited to share those things. So yeah, the podcast, I would say, podcast is doing good. Hopefully, get to replace this microphone soon. Is there anything else? I feel like that's it. So if you've reached this far, thank you very much. Please know that you are part of this journey. You are part of this podcast, and I do love to keep hearing from you guys. Leave it in the comment section. Message me. Follow us. Follow us. That's just me. Follow me at Anton1 on Instagram, and my Facebook page, facebook.com/AntonHosting, for more updates and the like. So yeah, wishing you guys a very happy, maybe not happy, wishing you a meaningful new year. Hopefully you get to look back at what the year has taught you and bring the lessons to 2021. Peace out.